and what it is that and astronauts in space.
So now let's go to Carbondale, Illinois, where NASA Edge is standing by to tell us more. Actually, we're going to stay right here at Eclipse Central in Charleston. So Karen, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
So this is a good time to take another moment to talk about safety. Now, first and foremost, never look directly at the sun. It's not safe, and it can cause damage.
But there are lots of ways to safely view the eclipse without looking directly at the sun. Be sure to visit eclipse2017.nasa.gov for detailed instructions and advice.
Now, you may have seen these eclipse glasses, right?
I got my pair.
They are designed with special purpose solar filters.
So ordinary sunglasses, even very dark ones, are not safe for looking at the sun.
Now, even if you don't have glasses, you have options. For one thing, you can share glasses, right? This event, here, take my glasses,
Share,
Sean.
we can share, yeah.
This event lasts for hours. Now, you can also make a pinhole projector. It's simple. You can literally just take a piece of paper, you take a pencil, you punch a hole in it, you put the sun behind you, you hold up your paper down like this, and you're going to be able to see an image of the eclipse on the ground or maybe on a wall if you project it onto a wall. It's really simple to watch the sun safely. Lots
of options available to you no matter where you are. There's lots more information about how to watch an eclipse. Again, that website address is eclipse2017.nasa.gov. It's the only time that's safe to take these glasses off when you're looking at the eclipse is if you're in the path of totality during the brief few minutes that the moon completely blocks the sun. Let's watch this video to learn more.
On August 21st, 2017, the Earth will cross the shadow of the Moon, creating a total solar eclipse. Eclipses happen about every 6 months, but this one is special.
Coming up during our 1 p.m. broadcast, we will have a live demonstration with a pinhole viewer and more ways to safely view today's eclipse.
NASA TV is going to be bringing you real-time, breathtaking images. In locations across the country, we have cameras and telescopes and balloons and aircraft and even spare spacecraft standing by to bring you views of this natural phenomenon.
Got it all. I can't wait. But right now, let's take a minute to learn about one of the aircraft being used today. NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center operates a Gulfstream 3 airplane for aerodynamics research and mission support. Today, their flight path is taking them over the Pacific Ocean to see the very first view of the total solar eclipse as it begins to cross the country.
Let's watch this video to learn more about their eclipse mission.
NASA's G3 aircraft out of Armstrong Flight Research Center will feed the world live video coverage of the eclipse from the west coast of Oregon as it begins its path across America. So we hope to bring that view through the eyes of NASA. We go out there and modify aircraft all the time so we can go out there and do NASA science. It's what we do. In the case of this aircraft, we've gone out there and taken a normal passenger window and replace them with optical grade windows, plus put in a telemetry system so we can go out there and provide real-time video. With these optical grade windows, it allows our photo and video teams to go out there and capture high-resolution video at 35,000 feet. To present to the world this rare event. And using this event to go out there and educate people, I think, is an exciting proposition.
All right, just about the turn. We'll be almost.
From a pilot's perspective, we want to make sure we get to the right spot, and also there are limitations for what.
That same spot on Earth will only get to see a solar eclipse every 375 years. During a solar eclipse, the moon casts a shadow with two parts, the umbra and penumbra. The moon's umbra is part of the moon's shadow where the entire sun is blocked by the moon. In space, it's a cone extending some 400,000 kilometers behind the moon. It's when the small end of this cone hits the Earth that we experience a total solar eclipse. Most eclipse maps depicting the path will show you a circle representing the shadow of the moon, but in actuality, the true shape of the umbra is more like an irregular polygon with slightly curved edges. This is because the moon isn't a perfect circle. It has mountains and valleys on its surface, which all affect the passing sunlight and subsequent shape its shadow. And scientists now have a greater understanding of the shape of the moon's surface, thanks to NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. The unprecedented level of detail from the topographic maps, photos, and other datasets has allowed us to more precisely pinpoint the regions on Earth falling within the path of totality of a solar eclipse. So, if you get the chance to witness a solar eclipse, always remember that our little moon plays a role that's quite large.
Wow, that was amazing. So now we've got a live shot from that G3 aircraft looking out the window.
And we're going to be seeing the eclipse live from this G3. It's 35,000 feet up in the air.
Over the Pacific Ocean as the eclipse begins. Very interesting to see how they had to sort of retrofit it with the special glass to get the best viewing possible. And I'm sure it's an exciting moment up there. I can only imagine what the folks inside the as an oval.
But for today's eclipse, for the first time, NASA visualizers were able to show that the moon's shadow is actually better represented as a polygon. And this more complicated shape is based on several NASA observations, including information from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which is currently orbiting the moon as we speak right now. The spacecraft has a unique view of the mountains and valleys that form the moon's jagged horizon.
Let's learn more now about mapping today's eclipse using NASA's unique data sets.
What we're talking about is several visualizations of the path of the moon's shadow during the eclipse in 2017. Everything in it is driven by the data. So the color of the ground, the position of the path of totality, the lighting from the sun angle, all of those are things that are based on data. A lot of NASA products were used to create this visualization. I used the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the laser altimetry data from that, which gives us a digital map of the elevations on the moon. For the Earth, I used something called SRTM. This was a radar that was flown on the space shuttle. For the positions of the Earth, the moon, and the sun, I used a JPL ephemeris. An ephemeris is just a list of positions, but it's the most accurate tabulation of those positions. This visualization is unique because it shows the effect of both the irregular edge of the moon, the limb of the moon we call it, and the elevation of the observer. Now, we've known for a long time that the elevation of the observer affects where the shadow is, and we've also known that the mountains and the valleys along the edge of the moon affect the shadow. So you may have seen on eclipse maps in the past that the image of the umbra, that shape of the shadow on the Earth, is drawn as a smooth oval. But we know that the moon isn't smooth. Around the edge of the moon, we have these sort of jagged peaks and valleys. And a peak can block the sun a little bit earlier than you thought, and a valley can let the sun in a few seconds longer than you thought. The combined effect of these peaks and valleys is to create a shape that's not really an oval, it's more like a polygon. But it hasn't actually been seen in exactly this way before, where we calculate those circumstances for every point on the map and draw that shape. Totality is that 2 minutes when or 2.5 minutes when the moon completely covers the sun. The sudden darkness of totality is just something that a lot of people can't compare to anything else. I love the idea that I'm giving this kind of map to other people, and especially that it's more detailed and more accurate so that people are actually in the right place to see it.
So there's a lot of great science being done today, and this eclipse provides an opportunity for researchers to test innovation for future NASA missions too. NASA scientist Nat Gopalswamy and his team pursue eclipses because when the moon completely blocks the bright light of the sun, it reveals the corona, which is our star's faint outer atmosphere.
And this year, scientists will test a special kind of camera. The team will only have 120 seconds to complete an experiment that may one day change the design of sun-observing spacecraft.
Let's learn more about how this team of NASA scientists is chasing the sun.
The corona can be studied from ground-based telescopes only during eclipse. When our eclipse happens, we make use of it and try to test some of our ideas.
Yes.
We have only 2 minutes to do the experiment, and we have been preparing for maybe more than a year.
Nothing can go wrong. Your camera can't shut down, you can't press the wrong button, and because there's no time to change your mind or make alternate decision.
We are going to set up the telescope and observe the total solar eclipse at 4 different wavelengths. And the images taken in these 4 different wavelengths will be used to determine the temperature and flow speed of the corona.
We are planning to take these images using a polarization camera, which will be a first for us. I think it's the first for the solar physics community. So once the moon completely covers the sun, the experiment begins. It's my job to make sure that the image is in the field of view. So at the correct time, one person has to give the command to turn the filter wheel, and for each filter there's a different exposure time. So another person has to enter the exposure time.
Running 3850 right now.
It's a combined effort of 6 different hands. No one person can make any errors.
8121. We do feel the pressure and also the excitement of the eclipse. Still, we have to focus on our experiment. Hey, all done.
It gives a tense feeling, but I believe we'll succeed.
All right, we got another beautiful shot here of Oregon, and we're getting ready to start showing you imagery from around the country.
That's an amazing shot. And right now, we're going to toss it to NASA Edge, who is standing by in Carbondale, Illinois.
Tell us a little bit about that, because if you've received social media questions about it, you have the data point to respond to that.
Yeah, you know, honestly, when I first saw the eclipse, before the eclipse, I was like, well, I've seen lunar eclipses, I've seen partial eclipses, probably similar in experience.
Looks like Troy's been a real eclipse traveler. I didn't know this about you. I'm
an eclipse chaser now. It's like, but it was the first one I saw was in Turkey, in C-Day, Turkey, and the next one was in Micronesia. And when the eclipse happened, it was about 85% coverage, as I could see with my pinhole projectors and my glasses. At about that moment, I noticed the sky around me started getting noticeably dark, and the temperature dropped about 10 degrees.
We could use it.
Oh my God, we're totally going to love that. And at that, right as the disk of the moon covered the sun, it was phenomenal. You're overwhelmed with an amazing feeling of being connected to the universe around you, because your vision is you're seeing things differently, the shadows are changing, the animals are acting differently.
Yeah. Yeah, we know about that. I do want to take a quick moment to say that welcome our friends from NASA TV who are joining us from Charleston. Hope they have clear skies there. We clearly are having clear weather here.
We're having clear weather.
A little bit of clouds, but easy to manage. Great to have you guys joining us. Now, like I said, you have time to check this out, to see these sort of eclipse views. What other strategies could you share with our fans to prepare for the eclipse?
Just to basically, when the eclipse happens, spend all of your time with all the different devices and pinhole projectors before and after totality. The biggest thing that I would recommend is when totality happens, unless you have a camera set up on automatic, don't miss a second of the event. Make sure you are looking at the eclipse. Now, one of the things, some people forget to take their eclipse glasses off during totality, and they miss the whole thing. because they think it's unsafe. But you're not actually looking at the sun during totality. You're looking at the backside of the moon, which is pretty dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the darkest blackness you've ever seen. And at that moment, you will see the corona of the sun just magically appear across the sky, and you'll see several stars today. I think we have and planets. So we have the potential to see 4 or 5, I believe, planets and stars.
Okay, but you have to be pretty strategic at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because that's during totality.
That's during
totality. So you got to
totality.
get your solar experience, and you got to swing your telescope around and see, or will you be seeing them with the naked eye?
You can see it with the naked eye during totality. I recommend everybody look at it with the naked eye during totality.
Perfect.
But as soon as one bit of sunlight starts to come around the sun, trust me, it is super bright, and immediately put on those glasses and start using your pinhole projectors again.
That's a great point, and it's awesome because we're getting lots and lots of good science and good observational data to prepare everyone for how they can experience the events.
And you know something I have to tell you, we have a Flickr gallery that people are uploading many pictures to right now. So we would recommend and highly recommend that you go to the eclipse2017.nasa.gov site. You'll see the Flickr links there, and these beautiful images that you're seeing right now are images that were already uploaded just over the last several days.
Well, what's interesting is it's not just photos from previous eclipses. We're seeing lots of artwork, lots of really creative work. I think that's spectacular and a great part of what's going on during
is.
This eclipse.
People of all ages are ready for this.
It's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, Troy, thanks so much for coming on. When we come back later, you're going to share with us the results, right? And we're going to talk about that, right?
That's right.
And get more questions. Great. Well, right now, we're going to go inside the stadium to Kevin Boucher, who's with Greg Guzik from the Louisiana Space Grant Consortium, and they're going to talk about this balloon launch that they're going to provide for us. So take it away, Kevin.
I sure will. Thank you very much, Blair. Again, we are standing on about the 30-yard line in Saluki Stadium, and of course, the stadium is filling up. And with me now is Dr. Gregory Guzik. And introduce yourself. Who are you with?
So my name is Greg Guzik. I'm a professor of physics in the Department of Physics and Astronomy at Louisiana State University. More importantly, I'm actually the director of the Louisiana Space Grant Consortium.
Okay, now what is that consortium? Who is it composed of, and what is its mission?
So the National Space Grant College and Fellowship Program was established by Congress in 1987. It's a nationwide effort. Every state in the Union, plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. has a consortium. And for this project, there's a team, a collection of about 55 student teams placed from Oregon to South Carolina who are going to fly balloon payloads very similar to what we're going to fly here from Saluki Stadium.
And when I think weather balloons, I have this image. I think of one of my old Time Life series of books. The National Weather Service was launching a monstrous balloon. This balloon that in my memory was like 100 feet long, but yours are a little bit different. Can you talk about the structure of these balloons?
So these are normal balloons that the Weather Service actually uses, hence the name weather balloons. They're made out of latex, rubber. When they're fully inflated here on the ground, they're about 8 foot in diameter. And as we go up in the stratosphere, they'll expand to about 40 feet in diameter.
Okay, and if I believe right now on your television screen, I think you are actually seeing some data and video from these weather balloons. Oh, also earlier you told me you've been...
All right, thank you, NASA Edge from Carbondale, Illinois. I know you guys were asking about the cloud cover here in Charleston. Unfortunately, it is starting to increase as predicted. I don't know if you can see it over our shoulders here, but it's pretty cloudy right now. But that has not done anything to the enthusiasm of the crowd that's building here.
And now we've got that G3 aircraft, the one we talked about earlier. It's ready. They're 35,000 feet up and ready for us. We have an exclusive feed as they fly over the Pacific Ocean. Kevin Rohr from NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center is standing by. Kevin.
She's pausing. Hi, welcome aboard. We're on NASA Armstrong's G3 aircraft right above the Pacific coast. I'm Kevin Rohr, and I'll be your host on the aircraft. And a big howdy, and thanks everybody on the ground that's making this shot happen. We've got a fantastic look out the window right now. We're circling above Lincoln City. We got a little bit of cloud cover down there, but we're going to have a fantastic view of the eclipse, and this should prove to be a wonderful day. With me today is Robert Lightfoot, Administrator of NASA, as well as Dr. Zabukin, Head of Science. And what we're going to do is cut to them really quickly so we can have a little discussion. And what are your impressions today, Robert?
Thanks, Kevin. What a great morning so far over the Pacific Ocean. We got to see the first bites out of the sun from the moon. Just an incredible view so far. I really want to thank all the teams that are out there all over the country helping us to get the most science we can get from here. Really going to be an inspirational day and hopefully inspire the next generation of scientists, engineers like me even. And the current generation, pretty inspirational from that standpoint. Volunteer. So we're excited about what's going on. And, I got to turn it over to my buddy Thomas here. This is his field of
learn about other stars we learn here first, but it's also a source of sweater and radiation.